Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be comparing two sort of similar perfumes. I know that whole you but better vibe in fragrance has been really popular for years. So I wanted to compare the OG Glossier You perfume with one that I've discovered recently, which is from the brand DS and Durga. Never heard of it before this fragrance, but they have a scent called I Don't Know What, and it's kind of along that vein. So I wanted to compare them. I know that there are so many perfumes like this out there, but I feel like Glossier is kind of the OG one, and I Don't Know What is one that has been gaining a lot of popularity recently. So I figured it would be a good opportunity to compare it to the OG of this type of fragrance. Before we get into it, I'd love if you would consider subscribing if you're new. I post about all things perfume, fragrance, smelling good. So I'd love to have you here. And let's go ahead and get into it. I recently picked up samples of both of these. So I have both of them on test strips right now, and I'm also going to put them on my skin and just tell you guys the difference. I have worn them a few times and smelled them on paper before this, like over the last few weeks. So this isn't first impressions, which is a good thing because I have a little bit of congestion right now, if you can hear it in my voice. So I'm glad I've given these proper testing before this. So these smell pretty similar on skin to how they do on paper. But of course, as usual, with a lot of fragrances, they warm up more on the skin and smell more just natural, better, more kind of what you want from a fragrance like this. They blend with your skin chemistry and you get this natural you but better smell, which is kind of what this kind of fragrance is all about and what they're marketed as. Just putting these on my skin right now. So the opening of these is probably the most different. Especially on paper, you get more of a woodiness from the DS and Durga one. I think there's sandalwood in there, and I do pick up on that kind of creamy sandalwood. It's really well blended. I'm kind of picky with sandalwood because the Santal 33 perfume is a little bit much for me, so I like something that's really creamy and not too harsh, and this one is really creamy and it blends really well with those other notes. And then once it dries down on the skin, it starts to smell more like the Glossier DNA, kind of like that fresh, creamy, powdery scent that really just smells like a clean person. And that's what I get a lot of with the Glossier one. I don't really get the woodiness. I don't feel like there's much in there. I can't remember all the notes, but there might be woody notes in the Glossier one. I just don't really smell that. I definitely get more of that, like I said, powdery, fresh, creamy kind of scent. And in the Glossier one, it's a little strong. If you're not a big fan of powdery, fresh scents, it might not be your favorite, at least not right off the bat. Whereas the DS and Durga one is a little bit better blended, in my opinion. I do feel like because you get that woodiness more, if you're not a fan of woody notes, you're probably not going to like that one. I kind of go back and forth on which one I prefer because I feel like the Glossier is a little strong in that powdery, fresh scent. But the DS and Durga is a little bit strong in the woody notes. I think in the dry down, the powdery, soft freshness kind of comes out a little bit more with the DS and Durga one. So I do really like that. The longevity is definitely quite a bit better than the Glossier one. I don't feel like Glossier disappears. It lasts, but not as long as the DS and Durga. And I do think that people have different experiences with Glossier You. Some people say it doesn't really last on them. Some people say it lasts forever. So that's kind of hard for me because it is a skin chemistry thing. And on clothes, obviously, it's going to last longer. But I feel like the DS and Durga lasts a long time, even just on your skin. And the more it dries down, the more I get that fresh, powdery scent without it being overpowering. Whereas it's pretty prominent in Glossier You. I don't want to keep repeating myself with the same things, so this isn't going to be a super long video. I just wanted to share my thoughts and the difference that I noticed between them. I know the price difference is very significant. Like Glossier is a lot cheaper than DS and Durga. If it's a matter of that, then I would definitely say go for the Glossier one. If you know that you like soft, sort of powdery scents, it's not a typical powdery scent. I will say that. I'm not a big fan in general of fresh powdery scents, but I feel like this one is done in a different way that I do really like it. But if you're very sensitive to that, I would just be aware of it. Maybe get a sample and don't blind buy it. I think the DS and Durga one does smell a bit more expensive. It's very well blended. Like I said, the longevity is really, really good. It lasts forever on the skin. And it has a really beautiful, creamy scent profile. And I will say, I feel like it's not quite as linear as the Glossier. I feel like Glossier smells pretty much the same throughout the life of the scent. Whereas with the DS and Durga, I definitely feel like it kind of goes in and out of that woodiness. Like sometimes I get more of the woodiness and sometimes I get more of that soft, powdery scent. So I feel like it just changes on my skin as the day goes on. Even on clothes it does. But I really like that creamy sandalwood, and I feel like it's blended with the other notes really well, so it doesn't bother me. It's so hard for me to choose. Like I said, I go back and forth. Like there's pros and cons to both. I think if they were both the same price, I would pick the DS and Durga because it has the scent profile of the Glossier U in there as well. But that sandalwood note almost adds a softness, which is rare for perfumes with sandalwood. Like I said, I'm very picky with sandalwood. I don't like when it's too strong. But in this scent, I feel like it actually adds something to the fragrance where it tones it down a little bit, especially once it dries down a little bit more. I think if it was me, I'd maybe have a little less in there. But I do really like what it adds to the perfume. I would like to get a full size or a travel size at least of one of these. I'm just still unsure on which one I want to go for. This is one of those things where I really want to hear your guys' opinions because I feel like these perfumes could be interpreted almost differently and everybody's sense of smell is different. What do you prefer? What do you get the most compliments on? That's another thing. Not that I'm like always fishing for compliments with my perfume, but everybody wants to smell good to other people. At least I do. And I feel like this is one of those perfumes that you want to just smell like you, but better. Like I've said, obviously there's the whole skin chemistry thing of different things smelling different on different people. But I would love to see comments from you guys because I feel like I'd like to get a general consensus of which one is kind of more liked. I don't really think I've heard other people talk about them together, like comparing them, which one's better. And I was really looking for that. So hopefully this helps you out in some way. I know it's kind of all over the place and I repeated myself some, but I just wanted to share like my opinions so far. And I'd really love to know if you've smelled both. What's your preference? What do other people prefer on you? I do feel like they're similar enough to compare. I know there's, like I said, a bunch of fragrances in this realm, but these are the ones that I was the most interested in. So hopefully there's someone else out there like that. If I can choose one, I'll probably share that in an upcoming video. I haven't done like a perfume haul in a really long time because I haven't been buying a lot of perfumes, but I do have a few on my radar right now. And I'm just going to be doing more perfume content in general. Obviously, I didn't post on this channel for a long time, but I'm back to it and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So even though I'm not posting a ton, I definitely do want to share at some point new fragrances I pick up, and I want to let you guys know what I decide with these, but I want to hear your thoughts first as well. So definitely share all your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Thanks for watching. Again, if you're new, I hope you'll stick around and subscribe. And that's going to be it for me today. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.